He was so good, wasn't he? 10 years ago, sort of at the height of his, we'll call it his tigerosity, when it seemed as though there was nothing he could not do. What happened to the mojo? And how does he get it back? Those are questions that require deeper analysis.
I had him right there at the breaking point, and then I'd back off and bring him back to the breaking point and back off. I said, let me tell you something. I promise you, in the rest of your life, you will never meet another person as mentally tough as you.
Here it comes.
And he has it.
Oh, my goodness.
And I got news for the people out there. He won't.
Oh, wow! In your life have you seen anything like that?
He had shots nobody else could hit. Nobody on tour had the focus he had. You expect Tiger to do extraordinary things.
Tiger looks comfortable in those scenarios. When he was at his best, he looked comfortable. Mastering that mental aspect of the game to put yourself back in that situation so many times and be just as successful as the first.
It never really was a surprise, was it? Because when you go to see the magician, you expect him to make things disappear.
I've seen it all today. Tiger Woods.
Better than most.
Better than most?
Better than most.
For a 10-year period, Tiger Woods was better than anyone who had ever picked up a golf club, Jack Nicklaus himself conceding. When asked by Tom Watson, yeah, Tiger's the best.
Well, I'm going to be 20. I'm going to beat Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson.
Eldrick Tiger Woods, son of Tita, from Thailand. And Earl Woods, a Green Beret Vietnam veteran, who set out to build a champion whose greatest asset was always that mental toughness. That's what makes this so difficult to comprehend. Woods had gone from chasing Nicklaus's record to trying to hit a simple chip shot.
Oh my gosh. My mouth just dropped open.
Wow.
The story of Tiger is very much like a great tragedy. You have a figure who's bigger than life, and they fail. Life seems to fall apart, and we don't know if they're ever going to be able to put the pieces back together again.
Thomas Moore is the best-selling author of the book Care of the Soul, a psychotherapist and lover of golf. One of several experts we reached out to who have closely monitored Woods' struggles. And though they have not specifically counseled Woods, they have worked with other high-achieving prominent figures who've lost their footing. Elisa Hollerman is a former Hollywood agent, now a depth psychologist specializing in recovery.
Yeah. If you can learn from those moments of descent and then rise up again, that is where you really start to understand the journey of your life.
Look out, expect anything different for Thomas. It is a win for the ages.
Nice. Hello world, huh?
So right now, I'd like to be Tiger Woods and his father, Earl Woods.
If there were no prodigies, we wouldn't have Beethoven. We wouldn't have Mozart. We wouldn't have had Tiger Woods.
Dr. Peter Levine has worked with people looking to regain peak performance. He's the author of numerous books in the field of healing emotional trauma, particularly in children.
They were cultivated in the image that the parent, in this case the father, wanted them to grow into.
Okay, you gonna make a par on the last hole? Okay, all right, let's go do it.
However, at a certain age, the arc is not how we're successful in the world, but begins to be how we are successful in our own growth as we move into middle age.
Tiger is a mythic figure. Having to be this figure for everybody, for people all over the world, that's a tremendous weight to carry. It would be great if these people were able to be good models for young people and for all of us. On the other hand, everyone's human, and they will make mistakes.
Tiger Woods was injured in a car crash.
He crashed into a hydrant in a tree. The brand known as Tiger on hold at best and perhaps in serious permanent jeopardy.
If he plays everything right, he'll get through this, but it'll never be the same.
Tiger, who had never been humiliated, to be embarrassed is really traumatic.
Award-winning golf writer Jaime Diaz has covered Tiger Woods for over 25 years.
The scandal and the trauma of all that public humiliation is what changed him in a way that kept him from being that mental giant on the golf course that he used to be.
Woods' recovery is not just physical, given what he said in 2010.
It's hard to admit that I need help, but I do. For 45 days, from the end of December to early February, I was in inpatient therapy, receiving guidance for the issues I'm facing.
Just because we're very, very talented doesn't mean that we won't struggle.
Early in his career, Chris Carter struggled with addiction, recovering to make the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Earl Woods once said, Carter and Michael Jordan were the only two athletes as mentally strong as his son.
It's not fun admitting that you're not perfect and you don't have your stuff together. Let your parents down, let your wife down, let your kids down. It's such a more painful experience than people realize. And ultimately, I think it affects Tiger's game.
Still, Woods did win 5 times in 2013 and was Player of the Year.
Done it again. My experience in working in trauma for 45 years is that very often it takes a while. The person is functioning apparently well, and then it just breaks down. The coping mechanisms break down, and they're lost. It's very often a tremendous disintegration.
The injuries are related to his mental health. I just don't think that he's in a good place, and the body breaks down when that happens too.
And we are hearing now Tiger Woods being taken off the golf course, and he has withdrawn in the 4th round.
He's not happy and not healthy at the moment.
It's tough to watch.
Very often you see people who have back problems, that those are related to the suppression of strong emotions, particularly those of anger and fear, but also of sorrow.
Woods' withdrawal at Torrey Pines further muddied the waters for the public and media grasping for answers. In a recent Rolling Stone article, writer Michael Weinreb examined Woods' struggles.
Any story that would come out about Tiger at this point would almost seem plausible, and that's a strange place for someone to be who was so carefully controlled and so carefully packaged and so carefully marketed for so long. Who is Tiger Woods? We have absolutely no idea who he is at this point.
The public is unsure. According to the marketing arm, an agency which rates the appeal and trustworthiness of celebrities, Woods' stock has not yet rebounded.
Have they regained their likability for Tiger? Is he still influential? Can he still set trends, not only in golf, but in the sports world? He was in the top 1% of all the celebrities we've tested. And to see that drop now to the bottom 1% is just crazy to think about.
I think it might be at the time to recognize that he's like all of us. The worst thing we can do, I think, is get up on a big moral pedestal. We have to have the empathy based on our own capacity for falling apart.
With so much scrutiny and the unfathomable expectations to return to what he was, Woods faces a challenging road back.
It's almost like we're asking him to meditate in the middle of Madison Square Garden with it being completely full and everyone's watching him. And that seems impossible.
You can't tell me one guy has had that same type of expectation over the last 10 to 12 to 15 years. It's a certain weight that he always has to carry. There's no way you can push it off on someone else.
It already is becoming a circus wherever he goes, wherever he shows up. Everybody wants to see every shot Tiger hits. Unlike a lot of players that go through similar things, they kind of go under the radar. He'll never go under the radar.
Your life is bigger than the game. And if you don't have peace in it, you're not going to be able to just grab peace on the weekend.
For most of his remarkable life, Woods has lived in a world of extremes. He's been a phenom and then a fallen idol. Now 39, Tiger Woods is seeking renewal.
You don't get this back in one quick move. It comes back in stages. It's not about hitting golf balls.
Trauma transformed is a great gift. When this happens, they look back and they say, thank goodness that I fell apart, because if I hadn't, I never would have connected to myself.
It's about finding his way back to be inspired, to have that juice in him that was given to him early on, maybe from birth.
If Tiger Woods does a deep self-examination, then he'll come back and he'll find greater joy in what he's doing. His life will be more of what nourishes him, what brings him inner pleasure.
These are defining moments in your life that dictate who you are and where you're going to be. He said to me, and I'll never forget it, it's like a weight is lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
I am free.
Yeah, free to play.
Free to play.
Tiger Woods did look very much at ease today in this first practice round, comfortable out on the grounds at Augusta National. But as our own David Duval, who's been through his own deep, dark slump, said,